What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to do a review on the ULTRAVIEW Button. So I bought this release about 4 months ago now, and after that 4 months I've determined that this has got to be the best release that you can buy on the market. So first off, I've been hunting the last 7 years with this guy, which is a Scott Talon. It's a wrist strap release, okay, or a trigger finger release. About 2 years ago, I started hunting with my primary was going to be a B3 Exit, which is a handheld release. I switched over to a handheld release for improved accuracy, helping out with overall form, and then getting rid of a little bit of the target panic that I had with this guy. Now, this guy will stay around for a long time as my backup. Great release. I think it does a phenomenal job. But when I wanted to upgrade from my B3 Exit, which I hunted with for a couple years, I was looking around for a new button and I decided to go with the ULTRAVIEW, and I love it, and this is why. So this is how it comes in the package. Okay, it's actually packaged very, very nicely, I think, compared to the little plastic crap that they just put it in, seal it real quick and send it to you. We just throw it away. I think this is nice. You can just throw it in it if you needed to for some reason, like shipping or whatever. Or two, if like me, I just keep it around just so if I want to grab the box real quick, throw the release in it to throw it in my bow case so it doesn't get bounced around. It's great. Now when you get it, you're going to have your button release right here, right? And then you're going to have an Allen key for adjustability. And then in the bottom down here, you actually have the manual. You can also scan this QR code to actually get the other manual. So that's the box. Now let's get into why the release is so amazing. So this release, it's so nice. If you go from a cheaper release such as a B3 Exit, which is about $145, $160 depending on where you get it, to something like this, oh my word, it's so different. So first off, the metal is like a textured feel, so when you get into it, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. You feel like you actually have the release in your hand, which is very, very nice. I was used to shooting a 4-finger, so going to a 3-finger like this was actually like a little bit of an adjustment, but it was actually very, very easy with this style release. Secondly, there's 2 different metal configurations. You have the aluminum, which is this guy right here, or you have the steel. Now the steel is going to be all black for 1, and then for 2, it's going to be a little bit heavier, which the heavier release is actually very nice to shoot. It feels more crisp. I didn't go with the steel because they didn't have one in stock at the time, and I don't regret going with aluminum. I think it's really nice. It does everything I need it to, and it's about the same weight as my B3 Exit, so that was amazing. Now they're going to come in a couple different sizes. Mine is a medium, stamped with the M in the center. Now I have a large to an extra large hand for glove size, so that's why I think the medium fits perfect. It gets in that point where you can get just on top of your knuckles and it doesn't feel like you're about to slide through. So I really like it, very comfortable. Now they're going to have a different configurations for your fingers. I think they make a 2-finger one and then another one that just kicks up if you wanted to use 2 fingers for just playing 2 fingers for my guys that like to do the knock 2-hits and stuff. Great, amazing little attachment and add-on. Also, they have this little loop in the top so you can do a lanyard, so you can hook it up to your chest rig, whatever you got going if you're worried that you're going to drop it. Now, I've had this thing for the last 3 months, and the only scuff I've had on it so far is right here. You can barely see it. And that's just normal wear and tear. Besides that, extremely durable. Now, going with adjustability, you're going to have your travel and force right here. So that's going to be how crisp you want your trigger and how light you want your trigger. And that Allen key that comes in your set will adjust that. You can also adjust your button itself. So right here, you can loosen this screw and it'll bring the whole head up. And then you can actually see in the top of the button itself, you can release that screw and that'll allow it to oblong itself whichever way to bring this button down, up, out, in, however you want it to make it absolutely perfect for you. Now on top of that adjustability, you can actually get different button heads. So I went with the standard one. I love this one, but you can actually go with a couple different ones. They have different sizes and different shapes. Best fits your hand and your finger. I like what they did here because this button based on how the grooves come outward like this, and you can see the little saddle on the top of it, it perfectly fits your thumb right in the top of the saddle. And then those grooves make you want to, when you pull, you're pulling from the inside of the release. So you're not pulling this release outside to prevent tension, you're pulling it straight back, which is very, very important. So when you're yanking on that thing, you're not doing this weird thing where you're pushing with your thumb side to side, causes some kind of deviation on your string. That is another thing I love about it. I also love how easy it is to recock it. So you fire it, reach down with your thumb, you can click it back in. Very easy recock. So, and then this mechanism I think is one of the best things they did. So you have the trigger itself, and then you have this little arm right here. Now this little arm will only move inward, will not move outward. And that's so you can click it on your bowstring and leave it there. Now I did a stock a couple years ago on an elk with my B3 exit, and I clicked it on, and you had to put it on, and then you had to close the head on it, and that's what locked it in. Close the head on it, it was on there, and I was jiggling around, and it actually opened up and dropped the release. So it was kind of a big issue. So with this guy, you click it on, and it stays on. For example, this is my VTM, my D-loop. Really just push it on, it clicks in, and it's on there. So it can bounce all around. That little spot is not gonna fail until you fire it. So that is a really nice little add-on they did. So I think that's amazing. That's a nice little touch that helped it and brought it up that next class. So I think this is an amazing release, really helps. The only thing I would say with it, and I think Dan Stason brought it up, was if you notice where it sits, right? So it comes up and out of your knuckles and it sits on the top. So it is gonna change your draw length a little bit. If you're shooting something like a Carter's Wise Choice, which the button is down towards your knuckle at that height, when you're at full draw, it's gonna change your anchor point just a little bit by about a ½ inch, because that is about a ½ inch difference that you're making up. So it could change that anchor point for you. So if you're going from one of the other handheld releases up to this guy, please just be mindful that you might have to change your draw length just a little bit. If you have something like a Hoyt where it's very easy to change your draw length, not really that much of a big deal. If you have a Matthews, which is a little bit more difficult to change that draw length, it might be a little bit different. I would say, all in all, just go shoot one, and if you really like it, make this one your go-to. Change that draw length up just a touch so it would help you out, and it change that difference right here. So besides that, an amazing release, super crisp. I actually have an elk call here. I'll hook onto the lanyard real quick. So crisp. Once you shoot one, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that it could be that crisp, that solid, feel that good. I've shot the Wise Choice now. I've shot this guy, the B3 Exit, the B3. There's another one, B3 Exit Pro. This one's just, it's so crisp. It feels so smooth. The trigger is just unreal. If you have the opportunity, I would go get one. They are a little pricey. You're looking at, for this one, about $300. Sometimes you can get them on sale. I got this one for $280. So you're looking at, when you go from, let's say, a Carter's Wise Choice to this, a Wise Choice is about $230, $240. Spend a little bit of extra money and get this guy. I just think is worth it. It's really amazing, great. You won't be disappointed at all. Wonderful release. I would go get one right away. Here it is, ULTRAVIEW Button. Go pick one up.